You don't have a trading psychology problem, you have a system problem dressed up as a psychology problem. Every retail trader who blows up gets sold the same lie. They need to journal more, breathe deeper, control their emotions, find their zen. It's a $2 billion self-help industry built on misdiagnosing the patient. This is what a psychology problem looks like, supposedly. I'm going to show you why it isn't. Before I tell you who I am, I want to drop a piece of research on you that changed how I think about every retail trader I've ever worked with. There's an ex-Goldman Sachs trader named John Coates. He left the firm, went to Cambridge, became a neuroscientist, wrote a book called The Hour Between Dog and Wolf, and he did something no trading guru will ever do. He actually measured what happens inside a trader's body during volatile markets. He strapped cortisol monitors onto real London traders and tracked them through live sessions. When volatility spiked, their cortisol levels spiked with it. And when cortisol spikes, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain you use to do math, weigh probabilities, and follow a plan, starts physically shutting down. Your decision-making hardware is downshifting in real time while you're still in the trade. That's when you need a system to protect you from yourself. The standard advice, control your emotions, breathe deeply, visualize success, is asking you to use the exact part of your brain that's going offline the moment you actually need it. It's like telling someone to read the safety manual when the fire alarm is going off. They can't. The reading part of their brain has already left the building. A system doesn't have that problem. A system doesn't need your prefrontal cortex to be online in the heat of the moment. It just needs you to do what you already decided to do when your prefrontal cortex was online. That's the whole trick. That's the entire game. Quick introduction, then we get to work. My name is Simon Ree. I've been trading markets for over 3 decades. I spent years at Goldman Sachs in Australia, founded and led the markets desk for Australasia. After that, Citibank in Singapore, working with billionaires and boutique funds across Asia. In 2017, I walked away from the institutional world to trade full-time and to build Tower of Trading. We've helped thousands of retail traders learn how to use options to build real wealth. I also wrote a best-selling book, The Tower of Trading. Here's the thing that I want you to know about my journey. I didn't become a profitable trader by getting better at meditation. I became a profitable trader by replacing willpower with structure. That's the story, and that's what this episode is about. This is episode 1 of a 3-part series. In this one, I'm going to share with you why mindset is the wrong diagnosis and what the real disease actually is. In episode 2, we'll look at how most retail traders end up becoming what I call the market's bitch and the mental model that gets them out. In episode 3, I'll walk you through the actual system. Position sizing, defined risk, the Bounce 2.0 setup. Walk through live on a chart. If you've ever found yourself thinking, I know what to do, I just can't stick to it, this episode is the diagnosis you've been missing. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the trading psychology industry. You've seen the pitch. Journal your trades, control your emotions, manifest your edge, embrace the journey. Become the trader you were meant to be. Here's the dirty secret. The vast majority of psychology problems in trading are just losses. And losses don't need a therapist. Losses need a system that produces fewer, smaller ones. Let me explain what I mean. When a trader feels fear in a live position, it's usually because they have something to fear. Their position is too big, their stop is in a stupid place, they have no plan if it goes wrong. That's not a feelings problem, that's a design problem. When a trader feels greed in a live position, it's usually because they have a directional bet without a defined exit, and the upside fantasy is the only thing telling them what to do. Also not a feelings problem, also a design problem. The fix isn't to suppress those feelings, the fix is to build a process where those feelings have nothing to do. I still have emotional reactions, but I have a system in place that prevents those emotions from controlling my mouse hand. Let me tell you about a trader I used to know. He spent over $10,000 on trading psychology coaches. 12 months of weekly sessions, breath work, meditation, journaling, visualization exercise. Every conversation ended the same way. His coach would say, "You're making progress, but you're not applying the work hard enough." 12 months in, he was still losing money. Then he made one change. He stopped trading naked stock without a risk management framework and started trading defined risk option spreads. Inside 3 months, his psychology problems disappeared. Not because he got more disciplined, but because his actual problems disappeared. The fear wasn't irrational, the fear was legitimate. His old way of trading deserved to be feared. His new setup didn't. Now here's what nobody in the psychology coaching industry will ever tell you. Most of these gurus are running a brilliant trick. When you make money, they take the credit. When you lose money, they say you didn't apply the work hard enough. It's an unfalsifiable business model. If the prediction comes true, the gift is real. If it doesn't, the student wasn't open enough. And the worst part, it keeps you paying. Because you start to believe that if you just try harder next month, you'll finally crack it. You won't. Not because you're weak, not because you have a psychology problem, because you're being sold a cure for the wrong diagnosis. Here's the core idea I want you to take away from this entire episode. Let me give you an analogy. Imagine I handed you a Formula One car with 3 flat tires and a leaking fuel line. And then I told you the reason you can't win the race is because you're not visualizing your goal hard enough. You'd laugh. You'd think I was insane. But this is exactly what's happening when somebody tells a losing trader they need to fix their mindset first. You can't visualize your way around 3 flat tires. You can't meditate your way past a broken trading system. You need a working car. So let's talk about what a working trading system actually needs. 4 things. Number 1. Defined risk on every single trade. I don't mean a hopeful stop loss. I mean, you know the absolute maximum you can lose before you click buy. A mathematical ceiling, not a vague promise to yourself. 2. Position sizing that survives a losing streak. If 10 trades in a row going wrong would wipe you out, you're not trading, you're just gambling with extra steps. 3. A repeatable setup with a measurable edge. Not vibes, not "it looks like it's going up," not "so-and-so on Twitter recommended it." A specific written down set of conditions that have stood the test of time. And 4, a pre-decided plan for what to do when you're wrong. This means having a line in the sand that when crossed tells you that you were wrong on the trade. Because you're going to be wrong quite often, even with a great system. The only question is whether you decided what to do about it before or after you started bleeding. When you have all 4 of these things, you don't need discipline. The system has the discipline built in for you. Your job downgrades from world-class athlete with iron willpower to person who can follow a checklist. That's a much smaller ask. Most people can do that. Almost nobody can be a world-class athlete with iron willpower at 9:30 in the morning every weekday for 30 years. You weren't built for that, neither was I. Nobody is. Let me show you what this looks like with real numbers. This is SPY daily chart last 12 months. Pick any recent pullback that bounced. This one right here works. Now imagine 2 traders had the exact same idea. Both of them saw this setup. Both of them wanted to get long. Trader A decides to buy shares. Trader B decides to buy a defined risk call spread. Let me run the numbers. Trader A, 100 shares of SPY at $640. That's $64,000 of capital deployed. Sets a stop loss at $625, $1,500 of planned risk. Sounds disciplined, right? Here's the problem. The stop loss is a promise, not a contract. If SPY gaps down overnight on some unexpected headline, the market opens below his stop. His real loss could be 2, 3, even 4 times what he planned. The stop is hope. Now look at Trader B. Trader B buys a $640 to $650 call debit spread. Cost per spread, let's say $2.50. Maximum possible loss, $250 per spread. locked in, mathematically capped. A gap down doesn't change the number. A black swan doesn't change the number. An earthquake in Tokyo doesn't change the number. $250 is the worst thing that can happen. Trader B buys 6 of these spreads, $1,500 of total risk. Same dollar risk as Trader A's stop loss on paper, except Trader B's maximum risk is real, not hope. Now tell me something. Which of these two traders has a psychology problem? Trader A, checking his phone every 10 minutes, watching S&P futures trade the Asian session, praying SPY doesn't gap down. Trader B is getting on with his day. Same trade idea, same dollar risk on paper. One of them is living in trepidation, the other one is just living. Guess which one needs the meditation app? Here's the objection I know I'm going to get in the comments. But Simon, shares have unlimited upside. Yeah, in theory they do. Now, I've been doing this for over 30 years, and do you know how many stocks I've seen rally to infinity during that time? Exactly 0. Here's what actually happens in practice. Retail traders don't exit on unlimited upside, they exit on the first 5% pullback when they get scared, because they're terrified of giving back the gains they've already made. That theoretical unlimited upside, nobody on retail Twitter ever actually captures it. What defined risk spreads do is simple. They cap your upside at a level you'll be happily profitable at anyway, in exchange for capping your downside at a level that protects your account. It's the trade that nobody on social media wants to admit is mathematically superior, but it is. And if that sounds boring to you, good. Boring is the whole point. So here's what I want you to take from this episode. Stop trying to fix yourself. Start fixing your system. You're not a broken person who can't handle the markets. You're a perfectly normal human being who's been handed a structurally suboptimal way to trade. That's it. That's the whole problem in a nutshell. One of my heroes is Bruce Lee. I teach Jeet Kune Do, and Bruce Lee said something I think about very often. Under duress, we do not rise to our expectations, we fall to the level of our training. That is exactly what happens to retail traders in a drawdown. They don't suddenly become more disciplined, they fall to the level of their system. If their system is bad, they have a very long way to fall. If their system is good, they don't have far to fall at all. That's the difference. That's the whole difference. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Okay, Simon, that sounds nice, but where do I actually get one of these magical systems? Well, in the next episode, I'm going to show you exactly how most retail traders end up as what I call the market's bitch. It's a phrase from my book, not polite, but accurate. And I'm going to show you the mental model that gets them out. It involves a metaphor about sex. I'm not joking. Chapter 3 of my book is literally called Why Trading is Like Sex. Hit subscribe so you don't miss episode 2. 3 things before you go. First, subscribe and hit the bell so episode 2 shows up in your feed the moment it drops. Second, in the comments below, I want you to tell me about your biggest losing trade, and I want you to tell me what you told yourself afterwards. Was it, I got emotional, I was undisciplined, I couldn't stick to my plan? Whatever the story is, put it in the comments, we'll all grow from it. And third, if you want to watch me decode the markets each Monday morning, subscribe to my free video newsletter, Tao Weekly, at the link below. You don't need to become a different person to trade well, you just need a different system. I'll see you in the next episode.